homeowner finds your video on YouTube and they watch the whole thing and they think, these are the people. And they click over to your website. And remember, you paid to get them there. The video, the ad, the hours of SEO work, the recording, and they're only one phone call away from being a booking. And then life happens. A call comes in, the kids need something, dinner's burning, they close the tab, they get busy, and they forget about you. 3 weeks later, the ceiling's dripping and they're ready to hire someone today. They open Google and they call whoever pops into their head first. And it's not you. All of that work and the job goes to whatever roofer happened to be on the top of their mind. Now here's the fix, and it's the missing piece almost no roofer is using. That's Google Display Ads, or demand gen. After that homeowner leaves your site or landing page, display will follow them everywhere they go. They'll be on Gmail, on their favorite news site, their favorite sports site, maybe even their favorite gambling site. They'll be on Google Maps. Over and over again, they'll see your ad until your name is the one that pops into their head, until you are at the top of their mind. Here's the catch. Display is the most crapped on tool in all of marketing. Marketers hate display ads. And for finding brand new customers, they're right to do so because bot clicks, overseas traffic, that's notorious and the money ends up going straight down the drain. But for going back after people who've already visited your website or one of your landing pages, it's the most powerful weapon you've got. It's not a prospecting tool. It's terrible at finding potential roofing clients, but it's phenomenal at staying glued to people who have already visited your web pages. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to follow a homeowner around the internet, from the first time they touch your site until the day they sign, and why the roofer down the road from you almost certainly isn't doing this. But if we haven't met yet, my name is Preston, this is Results Digital, and we're the leading marketing agency built exclusively for roofing and exterior contractors in the country. We only work with one roofer per market because we're dedicated to growing that roofer until their competitors can't keep up with them. And this is the exact strategy we use to take one roofing company from never running digital marketing to a multi-million-dollar private equity exit. So this isn't theory, this is actually what works. So let's get into the lesson. Let me give you a number that should scare you. At any given moment, only about 3 to 7% of the people who need a new roof are ready to buy today. And the other 90%, well, they need a roof too, but they're just not ready this week. They're getting a second quote, they're waiting on the insurance check, they're talking over with their spouse, they're about to leave on vacation, they're saving up. The excuses are endless. Think of your leads or potential leads like popcorn in a microwave. A few pop right away, and most just need a little bit more heat. And here's where roofers lose them. Once the homeowner leaves the site, nothing follows them. The roofer goes silent. And while they're busy living life, they forget you exist. So when the homeowner is finally ready, whether it be 3 weeks later, 2 months later, they're gonna call whoever they remember, and that usually is not you. And this is what omnipresent retargeting fixes. And I promise it's simpler than the name sounds. That's $1 million phrase for a $1 concept. What omnipresent targeting is simply this. Once a homeowner touches your brand, they visit your website, they click on your ad, they go to your landing page, you start showing up everywhere that they spend time. You're not chasing strangers, you're reappearing to people over and over again who already know who you are. And here's the part most roofers miss. The homeowner who picks your competitor usually isn't picking a better roofer, they're just picking the roofer that they remember. Staying visible is the same thing as staying trusted. The roofer who feels like they're everywhere is the safe choice, the established one, even if you're the exact same size company. So while your competitor goes quiet after that first visit, you can stay on the top of that homeowner's screen, on their news sites, on Gmail, on Maps, and more, until they're ready. And when they're ready, there's only one obvious name. Now, full omnipresent retargeting, omnipresent, just omni all, present everywhere, right? So you're present everywhere. That will also run on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, but I'm gonna be covering those in a separate video. This specific video is about one piece of it, and that's how to use Google Display Ad to be everywhere to a homeowner that's already visited your webpage. Now, probably the biggest tool that makes you omnipresent is the Google Display Network. YouTube retargeting only shows on YouTube. Facebook retargeting, it's got an expansive network, but that's only showing on the Meta platforms. But the Google Display Network is a network of over 2 million websites, apps, videos. It has enormous reach and it's dirt cheap. So unlike search, where a single click can run you $100, on the Google Display Network, you're only paying pennies. And that can be usually why marketers trash it, because it's so cheap and so broad. And when you point it at strangers, you get junk. You will get bots. You will get clicks from overseas. You'll be the best known roofer in all of Nigeria. It's basically going to show it to people who will never hire a roofer in your town. Your money just evaporates. But here's the twist. The exact thing that makes Google Display Ads terrible at finding new people makes it elite at staying in front of the right ones. When you've narrowed down your audiences to people who've only visited your website, then cheap clicks and being everywhere is exactly what you want. You want to be on every screen they look at for pennies, for month in, month out. And that's the whole game. You get the wrong audience, display burns your money. The right audience is people that you've already touched, and nothing on earth keeps you in front of them at a cheaper cost. Now, I'd love to tell you that this is a 5-minute setup. It's not, and this is the part you need to hear. It all starts with tracking. Your tracking has to be perfect. And here's why that's hard. After over a decade of working with roofers, I can tell you what almost every one of them does. One person runs their Google ads, another runs their Facebook ads, a third their SEO, and sometimes one will handle their SEO and Google ads, another one will handle their TikTok or their Facebook, and then someone gets fired, a new agency comes in, and your tracking goes haywire. The new agency sets up their own pixel, the new agency has their own GA4 stream, the new agency has their own Google Ads tag, and it becomes like a big tangled ball of fishing line. And here's what nobody tells you. Every single time you get a person to your website, whether it be from an ad, from a Google search, from an AI search, really from anywhere, you're buying data. That visit is data. And every time the tracking breaks or you swap agencies, you're losing that data. And you're paying for data and then just throwing it straight into the trash. That is a waste of your ads and ad spend. Now, the full fix for this is its own video, and I have to make that. It's on my queue of videos. But here's the principle. You want one Google tag feeding one Google Analytics stream. You want one Google Ads tag. You want one metapixel, and it's the same metapixel for whoever's running your Facebook ads. You want one TikTok pixel. You want one Microsoft UET tag. Every website, every landing page you own should carry a company-owned, that's your company's owned Google Tag Manager, your company-owned Google Ads tag, Google Ads, Google Analytics 4 stream tag, your company Google Pixel, your company TikTok Pixel. So no matter who you hire or fire, your tracking never stops working, and the data that you pay for stays yours. If you get this one piece wrong, and everything downstream is dead. You're building audiences out of nothing and retargeting nobody. Now, let's say that that's working, right? You say, hey, Preston, my tracking's perfect. Well, now you don't just target visitors. You want to build them into buckets based on time. So perhaps there's someone that visited your website 30 days ago, or 60 days ago, or 90 days, or 180 days, or Google Ads even let you go all the way out to 540 days. And you treat each bucket differently because the homeowner who visited you yesterday is in a completely different headspace than the one who looked at you 5 months ago. So the same ad to both is wasted money. So you have to build out your audiences correctly and know who you're going to target with these display ads and how you're going to target them. And then come the settings. And this is where I watch roofers torch their budgets. If you don't lock down the right placements, your money's gone. By default, Google Ads will happily run your ad inside mobile games. It will run them on parked junk domains in apps where a kid fat fingers your ad and you pay for that click. That's the bot and overseas traffic that I mentioned earlier. And it comes roaring right back if you don't control it. So if you don't go in and exclude entire categories of mobile apps, of games, of family, entertainment, dating, the whole list, if you don't exclude sensitive content, the tragedy, the shocking stuff, the suggestive stuff, you want to exclude content themes you don't want your brand near. For instance, I would say it's safe to say you probably don't want your brand associated with pornographic material. You need to set which audiences are in and which are out. And you keep only the inventory that actually performs. If you miss one of these settings, and there are several, then you're basically going to be funding click farms overseas instead of homeowners in your town. And one more thing that almost nobody gets right. Your Google display retargeting has to live in its own campaign. separate from YouTube. If you try mixing YouTube retargeting and Google Display Ads retargeting into one campaign, Google will just quietly pour the entire budget into whatever one's cheaper, and it will starve out the others. And most people will never even notice that it's happening. Then there's the creative. You want to make sure that the images that are being used are actually built to work across every one of the surfaces or screens that your ads are going to be shown on. I'm not walking you through this just to scare you. I'm doing it because it's the exact moment that most roofers realize that they don't want to be a digital marketer. After being up on roofs all day long and in sales calls all day, they don't want to come home and manage their Google ads. And honestly, they're right. I don't want to be managing Google ads all day and then go up on my roof at 5 o'clock. And this is the part where you just need to hire a diligent marketing agency that does this every single day. Now, the reason that it's worth getting this right is that the math is almost unfair. Being everywhere a homeowner looks on the Google Display Network, it's only going to run you a few dollars a day. Most of our accounts are at $10 a day. Maybe if they have a huge area, we'll do $20 a day. Because again, we're only targeting people who have already been to their website. And if you think about one roof job is worth what? $12,000 at a minimum, maybe $20,000 and up. And if you win back a single job that you otherwise would have lost, just one that you would have lost, you've basically paid for a full year of Google Display Ads remarketing. That's not spending money, that's plugging a hole that's been letting leads you already paid for leak straight to the roofer down the street. So here's what I want you to walk away with. Your next customer probably has already visited your website and they've left. The only real question is whether you vanish on them or you stay glued to them until they're ready to buy. And at Results Digital, this is exactly what we do. It's part of the same approach that we use to help take a roofing company from zero online presence to a $60 million private equity exit. Now, we only work with one roofer per market, and once we take on your town, we'll never work with your competitor as long as we're working together. And we've only got a handful of spots left nationally. If you want this set up for you and done right, including tracking, there's a link below that you can book a free strategy call. There's no pressure. Let's just have a conversation about your market. Let's see if this is something that we can work together in. And if this video has opened your eyes even a little, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, and let's get fun with this. Drop the word haunt in the comments. And keep an eye out for the next video. This is where I'm going to show you how to stack this together with YouTube remarketing, Facebook retargeting, so that you're not just on the display network, you're truly everywhere. And I'll see you in the next video. But until next time, Results Digital out.